This fishbowl experience is essentially this thought of, you're in an enclosed area, just like a fish, right? And everyone's just sitting there watching you, poking at you, judging you, looking at what you're wearing. Why are you drinking a beer when you should be out practicing? Those are things that I saw on Twitter and stuff like that. And that stuff gets to you, it really does. And you always want to put on your best face when you're meeting somebody because I've always respected their curiosity, right? You got questions, I'm here to answer them. But some days I didn't feel like smiling. I struggled with the game of football, like what I wanted from it. Why am I actually doing this? What is it that I want from it? And that wasn't the biggest part. Outside of that, it was just the pressures of, so my family, my parents and my sisters moved up here my freshman year in 2009. It was a lot of pressure. My parents quit their jobs. They moved up here. My sisters left her friends and moved up here to support me while I was in school. And so that familial pressure, right? I was telling myself all the time that I have no other option. I cannot fail. I can't. I have to keep going even when I'm tired, even when I'm sore, even when I don't feel like doing this anymore, right? So that pressure on top of fans, Twitter, the scrutiny, the idea of possibly failing was a lot for me. And obviously school, right? You're a student athlete. You still want to experience college, right? So essentially living this double life was challenging for me, wanting to party, wanting to be in the college life, but understanding that at the time, right, I was, a poster child for a program. So it was a lot that I was dealing with, right, in a very impressionable stage in my life, and not really having anyone to speak to about it, I self-medicated. The drinking was a way to escape. It was the time for me to literally forget about my responsibilities. It allowed for me to relax, allowed for me to live in the moment, and it allowed for me to decompress, so it became my best friend. The decision for me to come back for my senior year was obviously to keep chipping away and essentially get my degree. Another reason why I came back for my senior year is I felt comfortable. My mental health was very poor. Very poor. Anxiety was through the roof, and the ways that I knew that my anxiety was through the roof were by my thoughts about alcohol. I'm like, they would pop into my mind when I was in class, right? Whatever environment I was in, I found a way to allow for that thought to come in, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed thinking about alcohol, drinking, partying, let myself go. And obviously that created the slippery slope for depression. I had extremely high highs and very low lows. And I always say this, I almost wish that my play on the field wasn't the way it was so that I could at least see, what I was doing and how it was impacting, the thing that I love, that being football. But it didn't. I started to go to practice smelling like alcohol. I remember my running backs coach smelling it. And actually asking me if I needed any help, and I had all the answers. I didn't need any help, I had it under control. So I thought. After my senior year, obviously it was great. It was honestly one of the greatest feelings ever, getting drafted by my favorite team growing up. But what happened was I packed my bags, obviously with clothes, my alcoholism, and took it straight to Denver. That is when I hit my rock bottom, the rock bottom, in Denver. My first and second year, when I was playing for the Broncos. I started to drink more. I was drinking 4 days a week during the season. And I even had myself a little system. I would go to the facility early in the morning, hop in the hot tub to sweat it out in the steam room, to sweat it out some more, then shower. And then be ready by 7 a.m. for meetings and then practice. And my alcoholism, my drinking was through the roof. My ego was inflated extremely. Then my ego was bruised nationally. And I had to prove to someone that I was still a man, quote.